Jallianwala Bagh,
Written by
Somishka
and Rachel Howard. Once upon a time, in a land of monsoons, gold, and spices, people lived with rhythm in their hearts and stories in their steps.
For centuries, they lived in this rhythm until sails arrived from across the sea.
The British East India Company came first to trade, but by the mid-1800s, trade had turned to tyranny. The British Crown took control. India was no longer just a partner. It became a colony under strict rule, a mere pawn in the efforts to grow the British Empire by conquering and dividing.
The British passed laws that gave them full authority over Indian courts, land, and even speech. They taxed salt, banned public gatherings, and suppressed newspapers. India was a jewel in the crown, but the crown was heavy with cruelty.
As rule tightened, so did the tensions within the country. Amid joyous celebration for the start of the new harvest season, people joined the plea for change. As the British passed the Rowlatt Act on March 18, 1919, Indians were stripped of legal rights and all revolutionary movements were written to be forcefully suppressed.
This act allowed the British to arrest and detain anyone suspected of revolutionary activity without trial. No lawyers, no evidence, just suspicion. It was nicknamed the Black Act. Gandhi called it the devilish law. As the 20th century began, so did resistance. Across India, voices rose. Swaraj, self-rule, became the chant. The Indian National Congress started demanding reforms. Leaders like Bal Gangadhar Tilak and Lala Lajpat Rai inspired millions. The people were awakening, and small voices now became the fight for life. On April 13th, 1919, in the city of Amritsar in Punjab, innocent Indian civilians and freedom activists gather in Jallianwala Bagh, a peaceful public garden. Families had come to celebrate Baisakhi, a major Sikh festival, but also to protect the arrest of two respected nationalist leaders, Dr. Satyapal and Saifuddin Kichlu, who had spoken against the Rowlatt Act on March 30th.
They carried no arms. They gathered in a peaceful assembly. Jallianwala Bagh, surrounded by high walls and narrow alleyways, had only one main entrance. No one imagined it would become a trap. General Dyer, a British officer who believed fear was the only law India needed, marched in with 50 soldiers. Without warning, they sealed the exits.
And then they opened fire. Not at the sky, not at the air, but directly into the innocent men, women, and children. People ran, but there was nowhere to go. For 10 minutes, the gunfire did not stop. 1,650 bullets were fired. People screamed, ran, fell. Some even leapt into a nearby well, desperate to escape.
There was no warning, no escape, no mercy. The British didn't just kill civilians that day, they killed the truth. They told Indians the firing was justified, that the crowd had attacked first, but there was no violence.
They banned Indian newspapers from revealing the truth, silencing reporters and blocking letters. Photos of harsh realities remained unseen, as those seeking to expose the truth faced the risk of torture or even death. Even in England, they tried to twist the story. It became a massacre that was hidden behind official lies.
The British turned the media in their favor, spreading how the actions of the general were justified as he was serving as a crowd control and peacemaker. Questions arose, both from the British media as well as the Indian civilians. The British were forced to respond. They sent the Hunter Commission, a group of officials, to investigate. This investigation was not justice. The jury was all British, the judge was British, all in favor of the general's actions.
Dyer claimed the crowds had bricks and slogans, that they planned rebellion, that he had no choice, but no evidence was found. No British soldier was hurt, no weapons were recovered, only the bricks full of bullet holes and splashes of innocent blood.
Why didn't you warn them? Why did you seal the entrance? It was not my job to warn them. They brought it on themselves. Why did you stop firing? Because you ran out of bullets.
The commission called it a mistake. Dyer was not punished. He was retired, sent back to Britain, where people cheered him, raising €26,000 to honor him, calling him the man who saved India.
However, the people of India did not lose faith. Another voice emerged. Sir Shankaran Nair, a courageous Indian lawyer who served on the Viceroy's Council, which governed Punjab at that time. He resigned in protest, giving up his status, saying that Indians were treated like beasts and not humans. He demanded truth, demanded dignity, and others followed.
He unraveled the truth, reopening the case, uncovering that the general and the army lied about the death count being around 200 to 300 people, but in reality, over 10,000 people had gathered peacefully that day, men, women, and even children. Eyewitnesses later noted that at least 1,200 were wounded, and many more dead. The real number, however, we may never know.
These truths became the backbone to India's independence and uncovered the truth about the events at the bog.
Go. People joined the protests and created resistance movements, revolts, which overthrew the British government. And while Dyer never got the punishment he deserved, today the garden, though broken, has become a symbol, a place where truth grew from grief. The well remains, staying a reminder of lives lost trying to escape. The bullet holes still embedded within the walls, a symbol of the history we cannot forget. A history that will radiate from every Indian, every British officer, and hopefully everyone.
Because this garden didn't just witness a massacre, it became a symbol for a nation's freedom.
And now, it's our turn to remember, so that the world never forgets.